February 22nd, 2004, a businessman, Chai Kin, 40 years old, was having dinner with his family in a seafood restaurant in Sri Telling. Little did Chai know that the meal that he was going to have with his family would be the last, as he was later shot dead by a gang of robbers who had targeted his Rolex watch. The duo had ended up doing time for 12 years in jail for the manslaughter of Chai, but even then, life was already lost. Had Chai used self-defense, his life would potentially be spared. So, today, I would talk about that self-defense is a necessary instrument to fight the violation of person and his property. Generally, the requirement that self-defense is a purported act that bears some proportionate relationship to the act against which it was used. But however, the result to this is that it is hard to argue that killing has taken place in self-defense, since in many jurisdictions this would need to demonstrate that the accused had a real reasonable fear of immediate harm on such a scale that killing was an appropriate response. I feel that self-defense should be used as an instrument because individuals need to protect themselves and their property. The law requires a man to not act like a coward and run in the face of danger. People break the law, and this challenges the idea of personal autonomy and private property which liberal democratic societies depend. Imagine this: when a criminal has attacked you or trying to break into your house, would you want to serve him tea? Secondly, self-defense is appropriate as a recognition of the failure of crime prevention systems. Generally, most people would not choose to fight potentially violent criminals and would rather that they were not victims of crime in the first place, and that the police were able to respond swiftly to a crime in process. However, an act of self-defense is to fill the gaps left by the failure of the authorities and penal system to act in this way. It is wrong to deny people adequate police protection and then refuse them the liberty of protecting themselves instead when attacked. Lastly, self-defense shows that the law sides with those who live properly instead of criminals. The law also provides support for a cohesive principle of society and group identity. In conclusion, I feel that it's okay to shoot first and ask questions later, and I also support the right to protect persons and private property, which is in line with Article 13 and Article 5 of the Federal Constitution. Thank you.
None.